I just bought weed. I'm about to go to a Young Lean concert, and I have had 6 hours of sleep after being awake for 24 hours. And I didn't drive. I accompanied Tristan driving 9 hours, almost 8.5 hours from Brooklyn, New York, back home after we went and saw Blade in New York. I'm fucking tired. My favorite thing about embracing my culture and finally wanting to learn Spanish is now I'm starting to get onto Mexican TikTok, like algorithms, and I think that's funny because these bitches are funny as fuck. I get where my sense of humor is gonna make a lot of sense in Spanish. While I understand that, like, fashion is a part of all cultural subsects, really, like, every single culture has fashion as kind of like the forefront of its expression, I guess. My favorite thing about kind of engaging and indulging and embracing me being Mexican is the way that, like, I get to mix together two things that I feel like have always been very intrinsically part of me. I've never seen a badly dressed Mexican. Like, maybe that's a stereotype that I am, that I'm not, like, that I've, like, just, like, internalized. I've always thought that, like, my elders and, like, my cousins and, like, the people in my family who I always deemed were, like, more Mexican than me, I always loved the way they dressed. And I always loved, like, Mexican street style, and I always loved the way that, like, fandoms and shit, like, I always loved the way that you can very much see when someone is Mexican and part of a subculture. Like, I love that when Mexicans are part of, like, goth subcultures, you can tell that they're Mexican goths. I like that when, you know, Mexicans are nerds, you can tell that they're Mexican nerds. Like, it's so nice to embrace something and know that I'm not gonna have to, like, change a bunch of stuff about me and instead get to, like, bring in and express more of who I feel like I am. Assimilation will kill you, and if you don't start now on trying to undo that shit, you will lose out on so much. So much of your life probably would make sense if you accepted where you came from. Everything leads back to where you came from. So, I don't know what happened, but anytime I try to like edit my video from last month, it does not work. It just doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to load. The videos don't want to load in my gallery. And the one time I managed to get them all to load inside of my video editor, only 4 videos from the entire month showed up. Mind you, I filmed like 34 mini like video things. So I'm gonna take it as a sign from God and just not do that video and then only focus on the one from October. September was a really fucking odd month. I don't really remember a whole lot from September, if I'm being completely honest. I remember being really stressed out, I remember crying a lot, and I remember dealing with some shit. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't have to relive that. Regardless, I'm taking a social media break. The only social medias I have at the moment are Reddit, Snapchat, Pinterest, and YouTube. Mostly because those are not, like, YouTube is the only, like, video social media format, and it doesn't really have the same hook as Instagram or TikTok. Same with Snapchat. Snapchat has a video feature, but it's not, like, kind of what it's meant to do, and it's kind of meant to overstimulate you so you leave after a certain point, at least for me. And then Pinterest just kind of helps keep my creativity flowing. I would go on Tumblr if I wasn't scared of going back on Tumblr. I don't have to work today. I was supposed to hang out with a friend of mine, but we ended up not being able to because she's sick. So I'm probably gonna finish cleaning my bathroom and take a shower for the first time in a week. About to go smoke some weed and probably work out. When I take social media breaks, I get exponentially healthier in every aspect of my life. Like, my bloat goes away, my acne disappears, I have better routines, my room stays clean, my bathroom stays clean, my money stays up. It's almost like social media is an addiction that is meant to suck the sustenance and vitality out of you. It's almost like it's all designed to work in cahoots with the thing that also has me working 40 hours a week and not being able to buy groceries and a home. But we don't gotta get into that this morning. There are motherfuckers in this world who will drive a car and haven't had a license in the last 30 years, but I am scared to drive around the corner, down the street, to my job without a valid driver's license because I'm just like, what if they catch me? What if they catch me? People have always felt like I was condemning them or criticizing them or like talking shit about them because I'm like, hey, your tolerance for shit is way higher than my tolerance for shit. When I find out someone's being transphobic, I don't hang out with that person anymore. When I find out someone, groomed their girlfriend, I don't hang out with that person anymore. When I find out someone says some racist shit, I don't hang out with that person anymore. It's a very simple, like, I see it once, boom, it's done. You want to ask me about it, I'll tell you straight up what happened, and I won't back down about it because I don't need to. Unless I've completely misseen something, which usually I don't do it. I don't cut people off until I've seen something direct and in my face. I never cut people off based on like an inkling or a hunch. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. People constantly are just like,
you just kind of made me feel like shit because like I, do all this stuff and like you don't do all this stuff.
And it's like, well, yeah, if you didn't want to feel like shit about it, you should not do it. And they're like,
well, there's all these reasons why I continue to do it.
I don't know what that has to do with me. Respectfully, I don't know what my intolerance of shit has to do at all with you tolerating stuff. It sounds kind of like you don't like that someone else has more to stand on than you do. It kind of sounds like you don't like that someone thinks the exact same thing as you and is willing to put that into more practice. It sounds kind of like you're more upset with yourself and you're taking it out on me. And I think the older I get and the more secure I feel in my own opinions, the more I run into this issue. And people constantly tell me that I make them feel stupid, that I make them feel like this, that I make them feel like shit, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't have that power. And it sounds like people think I'm shitty when I'm just like, well, I can't make you feel like that without your permission, because I can't. If I was purposely trying to make you feel like shit and then you don't feel like shit because you don't play into my games, I feel like shit because I'm the one trying to do that. When I say I don't like this and I don't tolerate it, that is not me being like,
wow, you're a really shitty person for tolerating all of that. You should be like me and not tolerate it.
Like, do I think that? Maybe in small part, maybe like in like the little tiny itty bitty part of my heart that's human, that does think that you should have a backbone a little bit. But am I gonna be like,
that's really fucked up of you. That's really fucked up.
I'm gonna be like, cool, that tells me something about your character. That tells me about the fact that you are more aligned with being in the middle than you are about being on my side. And I like the people around me to know I'm on their side and they're on my side. I don't like to have to question. And so people who don't have firm stances, you don't know where they stand. You don't know where their true loyalty lies, and you don't know where their true opinions on things lie. And you know that for a fact that it can be swayed one way or the other depending on who they're around. And me personally, I don't trust that. It all comes down to a trust thing. I don't trust people who don't have the ability to stand on the things they think about and they stand and they think so passionately about. If you're passionate about it, it should be easy. And if it's not easy, you have more work to do.